Now at 5 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, it's Election Day in the Crossroads. Voters are casting their ballots on 14 state constitutional amendments. And bond was set on a man accused in a shooting in Bloomington on October 25th. The details in that case this afternoon. And Israel's military and Hamas are fighting in Gaza's largest city as today marks 1 month since the deadly attack on October 7th.
And we've got 2 more days of fairly mild weather because winter is coming back as soon as Friday. We'll be talking about your weather in just a moment.
A parent affected by the Covenant's shooting in March is upset that the shooter's manifesto was leaked online, and authorities are now investigating. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. Election Day is here and more than 26 polls open at 7 a.m. today in Victoria County. Now keep in mind the polls close at 7 p.m. tonight. Victoria County has open voting so you can vote at any of the 26 locations. A full list of those polling sites can be found at our CrossroadsToday.com website. So far, 3,252 people voted early in Victoria County. And in this Texas constitutional amendment election, voters have to vote over 14 different propositions. We have 25 News Now weekend anchor Adam Seibel live with some more information.
Right, Karina, there are a handful of propositions that voters will decide on as they head to the polls today. But I wanted to focus on and talk about 2 of those propositions, Proposition 4 and 9. Proposition 4 is homestead exemption. This amendment increases the homestead tax exemption from $40,000 to $100,000 and authorizes the state legislature to limit the annual appraisal increase on non-homestead real property. Now, moving to Proposition 9, that's the teacher retirement system. This amendment authorizes the state legislature to make cost of living adjustments and other benefit enhancements to those eligible in the Texas teacher retirement system. So far, we've seen a handful of voters go in and out of the Patty Dotson Health Center here, and I even saw drive-up curbside voting. So they have that available as an option too. So voters, you have a little under 2 hours to head to the polls. Those polls close at 7 p.m. Karina, back to you.
Adam, thank you. Right now, voters in Victoria are using the new voting machines to vote in the constitutional amendment election. These new machines use a 2-step process. When you vote, your vote is both stored electronically and on paper to maximize accuracy. This means your vote on the ballot will print on paper, which will then be inserted into a nearby tubular. Every polling location in Victoria is using these new voting machines. And for your viewer poll, the question was, do you like the Texas 2-step voting process in Victoria? We want to hear your opinion on this. Come to CrossroadsToday.com/vote to take part. And we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. And the 3rd Texas special legislative session ended this morning without a deal on school vouchers, as well as several border security bills Governor Greg Abbott had asked for. The Texas Tribune reports the House adjourned just after 10 a.m., preventing the passage of any legislation that still remains in the Senate. Over 30 days, the legislature passed just 2 of the 5 items on the governor's initial agenda, and none of the 5 items he later added. Never in the legislature's 176-year history have lawmakers met for more than 3 special sessions in a year, plus with a regular session. And the Quail Creek Utilities District has a proposition on the ballot for Victoria County citizens. The proposition would add $1.50 to local miscellaneous charges. 25 News Now reporter Darius McCormick is live with more on this proposition.
Well, Karina, if Victoria County citizens vote for the Quail Creek MUD Proposition A, miscellaneous charges will rise to $10 a month. From this $10 bill, $3.50 goes to street lighting and safety. Another $3.50 will support the Homeowners Association. $1.50 will go towards Victoria's Park Fund, and the last $1.50 will help Victoria's Volunteer Fire Department. Make sure you come out and vote, you guys. Polls close at 7 p.m. Reporting live in Victoria, I'm Darius McCormick, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Darius, thank you. For more on today's elections, come to crossroadstoday.com. We'll have the results on our elections results page. That's going to be under news. And now let's take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. Mac, it looks pretty good out there from what we've seen.
Yeah, it was fairly nice today. Temperatures in the low 80s. Thing is, this is not going to be lasting for very long. We've got 2 more days. Let's see, Wednesday. And by Thursday night, it's all over because we're getting back into this very winter-like weather. The remnants of another Pacific hurricane are streaming up into our area. They're going to give us a good shot at some significant rainfall coming in over the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a moment. Karina, back to you.
Mac, thank you. An investigation is underway in Nashville after images surfaced online of suspected writings connected to a mass shooting at a private Christian school. 3 9-year-old children and 3 adults died in the March shooting at the Covenant School.
Unimaginable terror.
That's how Brent Leatherwood describes the day in March when a shooter entered the Covenant School, killing 3 kids and 3 staff members. His 3 kids survived the shooting, but his heart aches even more after conservative talk show hosts leaked images of the shooter's writings.
So now, a community, a school, families who have already suffered so much were left yet again to deal with this terror.
Earlier this year, Covenant School parents filed a lawsuit to prevent the writings from being released to the public, concerned that this would ensue another attack.
We saw this in Allen, Texas, where that shooter referenced the Covenant shooter. How many more people have to be killed in a senseless way so that you can get clicks?
He shared a strong message to the person in law enforcement who leaked the images of the writings.
You are a viper. You're a member of the law enforcement community. And you have released evidence that was gathered in our most vulnerable moment. You have now allowed this woman who terrorized our family with bullets to be able to now terrorize us with words from the grave. How could you?
It's something he and other Covenant families tried to avoid, and now his message to the person who shared the writings online.
The online shock jock who aired these images, I would challenge him and anyone who amplifies them online. Just be a human for once.
Federal authorities would not comment on the authenticity of these documents. Bond was set on one of the 2 suspects in a shooting in Bloomington that happened October 25th. A pretrial bond of $50,000 was set on Samuel Isaac Biraza. He is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Authorities say the bond was set on him because he has a parent who lives outside of Victoria County. That bond allows him to live with that parent, and he must remain outside of Victoria County until he has permission from the people who are overseeing his bond. No bond was set on the other suspect, Zachary Wyatt Gonzalez. Police in Cuero were busy with a standoff around noon today. It happened near 2nd Street and Alamo Circle just before 2 p.m. Police arrested 61-year-old Frank Fisher. Authorities said he violated bond conditions by being at that home. The Victoria County SWAT team helped get Fisher out safely. He's now charged with repeated violation of certain court documents and bond conditions. On October 18th, police were at that same home, and arrested Fisher on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The Cuero Independent School District was notified, and due to the proximity of the incident to their campuses, the district enacted emergency procedures until the situation was over. Israeli defense forces are battling Hamas fighters inside Gaza's largest city, signaling a major new stage a month into the war that has claimed thousands of lives. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is likely to maintain control of security in Gaza once Hamas is defeated. However, this move in Gaza City risks further escalation and casualties. Netanyahu's comments pointed to the uncertainty surrounding the war's endgame that Israel says will continue until it destroys Hamas. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, the Supreme Court hears a Texas case on whether domestic violence suspects can be banned from having guns. Also ahead, key races are taking place in 4 states today with abortion rights on the ballot.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking information concerning a theft. The Victoria Police Department is seeking information on the identity of a Hispanic male who is a suspect of the 2 thefts. Both thefts occurred on August 3rd, 2023, at a business at the 8600 block of North Navarro Street. The suspect has a beard and a mustache and tattoo on his forearm. The suspect left the location in a mid-1990s model maroon or red extended cab Chevy pickup. If you have any information about these thefts, please call the Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. With the Victoria Police Department, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
Might preserve a federal law that prohibits people under domestic violence restraining orders from owning guns. The case involves a Texas man who was accused of threatening to shoot his girlfriend. The justices have said they will reverse a ruling from a New Orleans appeals court that struck down the 1994 ban on firearms for people under court order to stay away from their spouses or partners. Both liberal and conservative justices were persuaded by arguments from the Biden administration's top Supreme Court lawyer that the ban is on the line with the long-standing practice of disarming dangerous people. Voters across the country are headed to the polls today for both state and local elections. Competitive races are taking place in 4 states, including Kentucky, Mississippi, Ohio, and Virginia. The governor of Kentucky and the governor of Mississippi are both running for their second terms. And in Ohio, voters will decide 2 policy issues on abortion rights and on legalizing recreational marijuana. Right now in Ohio, voters are deciding on whether to pass a state constitutional amendment that guarantees a person's right to an abortion and other forms of reproductive health care. Ohio is the only state to consider a statewide abortion rights question this year. It's also the latest flashpoint in the nation's ongoing battle over abortion access since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last year. Advocates on both sides of the issue are watching the outcome for signs of voter sentiment heading into 2024. Now, ADHD is one of the most common neurodevelopment disorders in childhood, and it often continues through adulthood. However, some adults who weren't diagnosed as children may not be aware they have it.
Millions of U.S. adults have ADHD. It can cause problems at home, in relationships, and impact careers.
Also, people will get in trouble at work. They may get reprimanded for not completing assignments. They may have trouble in their social life.
Adults with ADHD may be tempted to take unnecessary risks. They may have difficulty waiting in line or driving in heavy traffic, feel restless and unable to sit through certain activities. They may frequently shift their bodies or tap fingers or feet, or have mood swings like a quick temper or low stress tolerance.
Symptoms of inattention and poor concentration can be due to a whole host of other disorders.
That's why psychiatrist Claudine Eagle with Mayo Clinic says to see a primary care doctor or mental health professional if you suspect ADHD symptoms. While there's no definitive test to diagnose it in adults, she says there are ways to lessen its impact.
Routine is everything for somebody with ADHD.
Manage your time. Use a planner, calendar, or app to help create reminders. Organize your tasks. Divide big jobs into smaller steps you can check off. And ask for help from family members and friends when you feel less motivated or overwhelmed. In the office, use storage systems to keep your desk organized and clear. You may also try using headphones or earplugs to block out distracting noises. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Victoria, Texas and Antarctica now have something in common thanks to a local manufacturing company. Matthew Cappenhane, project manager for the United States Antarctica program with the National Science Foundation, is in charge of several research projects across Antarctica, which require frequent changes in location. Clegg Industries from Victoria has developed Traverse modules, which will help research crews with long-term research in the Antarctic environment.
Basically a galley with a dining area and communications, a generator facility, and then a washroom where people can shower, use the restroom, and do laundry while they're 30, 60, 90 days out in the field.
This module will ship to California, where they will go on a ship bound for Antarctica.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are looking at a pretty nice little, almost kind of spring-like day. Our current temperature is 79 degrees. We'll see how warm we got. Let's see if it's in. Oh, temperature's not in yet, but we got up to about 82. And we are looking for maybe 2 more days of mild weather. By Friday, though, you'll be looking for the rain gear and the coat because winter is making a comeback. We'll be talking about that coming up in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I saw a lot of people in t-shirts today, and that's okay. You got another day and a half to do that. But then we've got a big change coming up in our weather later this week. Here we are. We see the cloud deck sort of rolling around the area. I don't know, radar's picking up a little activity there off of Palacios, but I don't think it's anything serious. And we see the stream of tropical moisture that we're tapped into from what used to be Tropical Storm Pilar. Now, Pilar is falling apart, but you can see how it sort of bloomed there toward the end, and you can see exactly which way that moisture is going. It's going up, It's getting picked up by the westerlies, and it gets turned around, and it's going to be rolling into our area. So that's why we have a good shot at getting significant rainfall. I'm not saying flooding rains, but a little bit heavier than what would be a winter rain. Winter rain's usually kind of nothing significant. So we're going to look for a little tropical moisture to give us a shot at some much needed rainfall around here. And we take a look at red flag warnings, nothing in our area, but up here in the Panhandle in New Mexico as well. This is where the storm is organizing, and that's why the winds are fairly high up there right about now. That's where the storm will develop, and then it rolls down into our area. Overnight tonight, again, in the mid-60s, not particularly cold. Tomorrow, another warm t-shirt day. You're going to be out there and enjoying it because it'll be about 84, a couple of 90s possible in West Texas. But then we look at the big picture and we see, okay, where is the storm that's gathering? You'll see it dipping right about here. Now, this is Future Tracker. We're going on for Wednesday. You can see the rain in the Midwest. That snowstorm's pulling away. But right about here, you'll see more and more snow developing, and then that big surge of moisture comes in front of it, so that the combination of those two and that low here is going to bring us that significant precipitation, and then we watch and wait for that next one. That's going to be a doozy for the West Coast. We'll certainly be watching more about it as it evolves. Here's another view of it. There's the low. That's intensifying. Remember, it's pulling moisture into it, so winds are flowing into it. That's why we've got that moisture ahead of it and that little frontal system passing by. And by the time we get to Friday, it'll be a little bit chilly out there and wet too. So if you happen to go fishing, you should go tomorrow morning, okay? I would get the bait right now if I were you and get the rods out, because we're looking for smooth conditions and a fairly nice day tomorrow, and that's your Wednesday. Sunrise at 6:46 p.m. and sunset is at 5:37. I just can't get my head wrapped around that. But here's the day planner for those of you in Port Lavaca. 71 in the morning, up to 81 in the afternoon. No significant wind. It'll be out of the south. And then for Cuero, we start off at 68, get up to 84. South wind as well, partly cloudy and relatively sunny. But here's how it all changes. On Thursday, late in the afternoon, probably closer to sundown, we'll start picking up a few showers rolling around the area. After midnight, the big cold front comes through, and then we'll have a strong northeast wind. The high on Friday only 64, and probably up to half an inch, if not more, of rain. And that will continue for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. As they say, winter will return. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, a new report shows how many Americans are tapping into their 401k plans to pay the bills. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 56 points, the S&P 500 up 12 points, and the Nasdaq up 122 points. Oil down $3.45, closing at $77.37 a barrel. Bank of America says a growing number of Americans are cracking into their retirement fund to pay their bills. The number of its 401k plan participants pulling cash out has increased by 27% since the start of the first quarter. Despite the high GDP numbers and low unemployment, Americans are still facing a cash crunch caused by high inflation and rising cost of living. However, BOA says they have more than 4 million plan participants. This means the total number of people dipping into retirement funds is still under 0.6%. An appeals court heard arguments today about whether the federal government can require state hospitals to perform life-saving abortions. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on our crossroadstoday.com website. And stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, the London Zoo is offering a Christmas special this holiday season. Plus, here's a look at world news tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Tonight, we're finding out what voters really think and want. With just 1 year out from the 2024 race, the possible signals of how the country will vote. More Americans turn to the most watched newscast on television. World News Tonight with David Muir.
The London Zoo is offering sleepovers from December 18th to December 30th. Guests will stay at a Winter Wonderland Lodge in the heart of the zoo. They will get an exclusive tour of the lion's den and get a chance to make presents for the animals. They will also get to toast marshmallows on a fire pit and enjoy a behind-the-scenes peek at the zoo's nocturnal residence. The experience includes two full days of zoo entry at both the London Zoo and the Wimpsnade Zoo. Well,
does that mean that that you're in the lion's den?
Okay, that would be a
where's
crazy
my
experience.
Where's my backpack going to be?
Have you ever spent the night at a zoo? Actually,
no, that's
we did for
did you?
Yeah, I think it was like an elementary school trip.
That's spooky.
It was Houston Zoo. It was safe. We were good.
Okay, you were on this side of the
We
fence.
were
Oh,
good. Yeah, we weren't tossed into the lion's den there.
Pretty amazing there. Anyway, folks, you've got 2 more days of mild weather. If you're working outdoors and you got a roof done or you got to get some concrete done, you better do it tomorrow or the day after. By Thursday night, I expect the rain to begin, and then the big cold front blows through at midnight. Friday's high temperature only 61, and Saturday is Veterans Day, and we have a high of only 60, overnight lows in the upper 50s. So it's going to be wet and cold, because once we begin this on Friday, it's going to be about 4 or 5 days of damp, drizzly weather. So let's just get everything ready, and for all the veterans, make sure we bundle them up. And they look good in their little caps out there, because I'm sure that everybody wants to participate. And I certainly don't want to discourage you. I'm just telling you that the weather is going to be inclement. So grab the jacket, grab the coat, grab the rain slicker,
Rainy
grab
week.
the boots, all that stuff, and just be ready for that.
Alrighty, Mac, thank you so much, and thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.